Hey guys, Jake Knowlton here once again. I'm just shooting a kind of video off the cuff today. Well, I make it sound like I'm just making one randomly amongst my regular schedule, but I haven't uploaded in months. But I hope the quality of this video is somewhat better than usual, but it seems like opening the window actually made it a bit more grainy. I got a new iPhone 17, or the new iPhone 17, so I'm hoping the front-facing camera, because that's how I film, that's how cool I am, makes it look, hopefully makes it look better than my old iPhone 14 Pro. So the reason I wanted to make a video today is I wanted to update you a little bit about my life. There's been a lot of talk of J-vlog or J-vlog drama. I'm not gonna go into that drama at all, but the J-vlogging part, we used to just have videos living in Japan of just people updating about their life. And I thought I'll just update about my life a little bit because I haven't really talked to you guys in years. I think about 5 or 6 years or so. So some of you, or many of you might know, I am currently the principal of an international preschool here in Japan. And I want to make it clear that an international preschool is usually very different than from like the full-fledged like international schools that you might be used to. In Japan, there are lots of nurseries and kindergartens, and then of course you have elementary schools. You can make international preschools and kindergartens basically anywhere you want, and they don't have to be like, you know, no diploma or anything like that. But then people usually just go to a normal elementary school because in Japan it's compulsory education. So the number of like international elementary schools is usually just reserved for like the proper places. And then with an international preschool, it's more like daycare with just a lot of English. And it's really good for the kids because the kids can learn English naturally with the English teachers being with them all day. There's a lot of nursery workers because even the private international preschools need to have licensed childcare staff, and it's just a really fun place to work. And yes, I've been the principal there since 2020, just before COVID started. The maths is weird because I started 2020, it's out 2025, but it's technically my 6th year. Once it gets to March 31st, 2026, it will have been 6 years. And it's coming to an end. Not by choice. That sounds sinister. My company have decided to close the school. I'm not really going to go into too much details, but you might have seen on the news in Japan that there's less and less kids, but also more and more people want to go to public nurseries because they're cheaper. Basically from 3 years old, they're free. And the biggest killer for my school was that Ichikawa City, where my school was, made it free for everyone, 0, 1, and 2 years old as well, if you had brothers and sisters. So basically, it's hard to pay 1.5 million yen a year when the other option is almost free. And then they added other things like even public schools were able to hire English teachers as well. So it made the competition not quite worth it, especially when my company also owns public schools in the same city. So the simple thing is I am leaving my position because the school won't exist anymore. And on top of that, I've just decided to leave the company full stop because life is big, life is beautiful, and there's so much that I need to do. Basically, since 2020, the school has been a big part of my life. The first couple of years, it was very hard to get used to everything, all the paperwork, all the forms you had to fill in, getting to know the parents, managing 20 plus staff. It was a lot of work. And due to the company growing a lot of that time, I wasn't trained. I wasn't trained. So what I ended up doing was going to school at 5 o'clock in the morning every day and spending about 2.5 hours there before the kids or teachers even came, just so I could get everything in line. And that might sound horrendous. But the good thing about going there so long every day was I got to learn how to do it in a very controlled way. I got to look at everything. I got to get used to everything. And basically, I had to get used to everything. And it's been a really great experience. I've got to use my Japanese because even though it is an international school, you know, basically all the parents are Japanese, the city office is obviously Japanese, all the companies that you're interacting with, like, you know, food deliveries, regular deliveries, all the places you go on school trips, clothing manufacturers, all that kind of stuff. It's obviously all in Japanese. So I got to learn how to write Japanese emails very, very well, which I did have to get used to pretty quick because my boss was quite strict. I remember when I would sometimes handwrite parents' names and I would get not told off, but had to rewrite them if it wasn't clear enough because they didn't want to be rude to the parents. But it's been an incredible experience because I've managed to get a lot of experience working within a Japanese company. Again, it's an international school, but the company is Japanese. My company is owned by Yamanashi Gakuin Daigaku, which is a huge university in Japan. I got to get a lot of management and leadership experience because at the biggest peak, I had 26 staff in my school, including just English teachers, regular childcare staff, nurses, chefs, dietitians, office staff. So there was a lot to get used to. Part-time staff, full-time staff, all of that was pretty hard. Had to put on lots of events throughout the school year, school trips, health and safety stuff. Got some certifications, got my Kosadate Shien Shikaku, which is like a quasi childcare license. Got a, I can't remember, Shobo, Kanni, something, like basically fire safety and prevention certification. Whilst I was there, I decided to teach myself Chinese. And in December, I'm going to take the HSK3 exam, which is basically apparently conversational Chinese, almost ready to work in a Chinese environment, which, to be honest, one of the reasons I did that is because I wanted to be more future thinking. I got a lot of experience dealing with like accounting and money managing because obviously we have the money coming into the school. If you imagine 1.5 million yen per kid a year multiplied by all the kids that we had, which at the peak was about 90. So you're talking a lot of money coming in, but then obviously salaries going out, the rent, bills, all the shopping that we had to do. It was, learning about what taxes exist is very, very interesting, and I learned a lot. But what's next? So, to be honest, I don't know what's next yet. My work still continues until March 31st. I get a couple of bonuses until then. I've got 2 bonuses coming, which should be a nice chunk of change, is like future-proofing. One of the best things about the job, actually, was that my company was very flexible about double work. So for the past 5 years, I've also been teaching on italki, an online teaching platform. And to be honest with you, realistically, I teach about 20 hours a week on italki and I make 300,000 yen a month, which is more than a regular English teacher coming to Japan. But I also work half the hours and don't have to commute anywhere. It's been very fortunate that with my principal's job and italki, and obviously my wife works full-time as well, we've been able to save quite a lot of money. To be honest, I could stop working a full-time job, only rely on italki, and still live for the next decade relatively stress-free, which as a 34-year-old, obviously Japan has a much lower cost of living, which is nice. I've been able to buy a car. You might be able to see my car a little bit there. My car is fully paid off. I have a house. I've got 2 wonderful dogs who are very crazy. My daughter gets to do a few activities, like she does hip hop dance, swimming, piano. We get to just buy nice things, go out to eat. I hate churrasco, the Brazilian thing where they cut meat at the table for the first time. And oh my God, life is great. So it's quite interesting trying to figure out what comes next. And I think one of the good things that I've always kept in mind is that improvement is number one. So getting my Japanese up, learning Chinese, getting certifications, and taking courses. Like I took a leadership course. I took some Japanese courses as well, which is like management courses, even in Japanese. I took a social media course. I took an AI course. I got a Minecraft, what is it called? I got like a Minecraft education certification, just in case. You never know when you might need all of these little things. But I know a lot of people who live in Japan kind of feel stuck. And one of the things that I've really learned is that if you want to succeed in Japan, you really have to put yourself out there, network, LinkedIn. A lot of people cringe at LinkedIn posts, but I've met a lot of great people on there. I've managed to get a bit of a following. And one of the jobs that I have a final interview for from April is actually as a result of someone reaching out to me from LinkedIn. And I'm not going to say what the job is because who knows, I might not even do it. They might not take me. But it's a pretty cool job and a pretty cool company which combines AI, education, and stuff like that. So it's pretty exciting to see what's going forward. One of the things that I do need to start thinking about is getting healthy, getting in shape, and I do want to get the JLPT N1 certificate at some point. I should get it. So that's something I need to think about as well. I could probably pass it with a bit of studying, which I guess is technically true for everybody. If they study, they could pass it. But yeah, it's something I should think of. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know how I'm doing. Some of you, maybe one of you, might have been worried about me. So here's to let you know I'm still alive and life is wonderful. One of the other options is to just not do anything and enjoy life, you know. One of the things that I've really learned is that, you know, in Japan, childcare has become a big thing so that parents can work. But then also, what if the child doesn't want to be in school until 6 p.m. every day? I think one of the things that, you know, me and my wife both working full time, it's like, yes, for the future, make money for the future. But also, we've got to live in the now. My daughter is in the first grade of elementary school and she loved nursery. And the thing is with nursery is that nursery is fun all day. You know, you're with your friends, the teachers are very nice, they're together with you. But when it comes to Gakudo, which is like the after school for elementary school, it's not really structured and it's not really designed for the kids' development or growth. It's literally just a holding room for your kids while you work. And my daughter absolutely hates it. It's a room that's like maybe 4 times the size of this office and there's like 50 kids in there. And every time I go to pick her up, it's like a zoo. And I know that if that was me, I would hate being in there. So that's something I want to focus on going forward as well, is more time for family. I went to the dog run this morning with my dogs, obviously. And it was just nice, just letting them run around, get some exercise. I ran around, I got some exercise. And that's something that I feel like we could run out of very quickly if we all just keep going the pace that we are. But yeah, thanks all for watching, guys. And I'll see you next time, hopefully. Bye.